Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of Take a Wild Guess, the show where I tell you the story of an object, a place, a historical event, or a name, and you guess what I'm talking about. Now, today's episode is called War Doesn't Decide Who is Right, Only Who is Left. As you must have guessed, it's a war story. And it is the story of one of the strongest adversaries that the Roman Empire ever faced. In fact, he was the first general to use elephants against the mighty Romans. Do you know who I'm talking about? If not, listen on. Maybe you will figure it out by the end of today's story. And even if you don't, you can always take a wild guess. So let's begin. Okay, confession time. I was supposed to make an episode on sports, but because I find sports boring, I went back to one of my favorite topics, etymology. That too, etymology based on Roman history. And before I knew it, I had already researched enough content to make an entire episode. So here's hoping that I get around to making a sports episode soon. But till then, here is today's story. Okay, so our story begins somewhere in 319 BC. And our hero was born to the king of Epirus, which is a place in Greece. Now, this guy was the second cousin once removed of Alexander the Great. So, throughout his life, he thought that he was the reincarnation of Alexander, and so he had some really great ambitions. Now, the entire life of our hero is also very fascinating, and it has so many twists and turns that reading it feels like reading the script of a Bollywood movie. But whatever the case, he was a really capable general and had established his authority in Greece. And now he was looking towards Italy to expand his rule and further increase his glory. So, lucky for him, an opportunity readily presented itself. So, what happened was by around 280 BC or so, the Roman Empire had also grown across most of central and eastern Italy. And they were also slowly trying to capture the southern part of Italy. Now, these parts of Italy were mostly governed by Greek city states. One of them was the state of Tarentum, which is the present day Sicily. So, when Roman ships with troops aboard them appeared near these islands, they got scared and they asked our hero for help. And obviously, this was just the excuse that our hero needed. His real plan, of course, was to take over Sicily under the pretext of protecting them. So he left for Italy with a huge army of 25,000 men and 20 war elephants. Now, remember, I had said that he thought of himself to be Alexander Part 2. So, Alexander actually had very effectively used elephants against Persians. Since the Romans had also not faced elephants in battle before, he was hopeful that this will turn out to be his trump card and he will take them by surprise using elephants. So, as expected, war started between Rome and our hero. The first engagement of the war was in a coastal town called Heraclea. Here, initially, the two armies were almost evenly matched, but then the elephants were let loose and they caused a huge panic in the Roman troops. The Romans were about to be completely destroyed, but one of the elephants got wounded and it turned on our hero's own troops. So, this gave the Romans enough time to retreat safely. Now, technically, this was a win for our hero because the Romans were the ones who retreated. But he had lost 13,000 men in this battle, as opposed to Rome, which had lost 15,000 men. So, for an invading army, this was a great blow. Now, another problem here was that our hero, when he went to Italy, he was expecting reinforcements from the local Greek city states, the ones that he had gone to protect. I mean, states other than Tarentum also. But not all of the Greek states were exactly supportive of our hero. Many were more sympathetic to Rome, so he could not even make up for the lost troops after the battle. Now, in the very next year, another major battle was fought at Osculum. So, this time to counter the war elephants, the Romans came a bit prepared. They came with ox wagons, which were a kind of primitive artillery. But unfortunately, our hero's infantry infiltrated and overpowered the ox wagons very easily and disabled them. So, they could not effectively use them against the war elephants. So, as you must have guessed, the Romans again had to surrender. But the problem was, this time again, while Rome lost around 6,000 men, Our hero also lost around 3,500 men. So this was a huge loss for him. Now it is at this point that our hero apparently said, if I win one more of such victories, I will be utterly ruined. So he lost so much in the two battles that he knew he could not defend the territory that he had won anymore. So he had to eventually make his peace with Rome and return to Epirus. He had to return the land that he had captured back to Rome, thus giving up on his dream of capturing Sicily. The such kind of a victory where one loses more than one gains is named after our hero. So, do you know who the hero of our story is? Or do you know the term or the phrase that is named after him for this victory? Even if you don't, take a wild guess. Thank you for actively guessing the answer to the last episode. The answer to today's story will also be revealed in another clip that I will upload on all platforms as well as on our Instagram handle on Sunday. Till then, I invite my listeners to send in their guesses as an email to tawgpodcast@gmail.com or as a message on our Instagram handle. So, guess away. You can listen to our podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and all other major podcast platforms. If you like this episode, please subscribe and share it with your friends. If you have any comments, criticisms, or feedback, please write to me at tawgpodcast@gmail.com or message me on our Instagram handle. Till next time, I'm your host Chaitanya Ganu, and this is Take a Wild Guess.